No.
We are?
Yes, we are.
Oh, no.
Are we sure?
No.
Should we stop it one more time and listen to it one more time?
No, I'm saying all sorts of little wiggly
First
things.
we need to have, like, a regular conversation, and then we'll edit that into, like, and then we'll start the show, like, when Adam's here.
Yeah, that's exactly how we do it.
Okay, cool. So we need to talk about something.
No, we just were.
Oh.
We were talking about all the wiggles and the woggles.
What?
I see all sorts of wiggly things on the screen.
Oh, yeah, you're looking at wiggles.
Are audio waves symmetrical, or is it them going back and forth so they're technically not symmetrical?
What are you talking about?
We
talk about why the up and the down being symmetrical. One side is right, one's left, I think. I don't actually know. So,
but audio waves are a curve.
You know who could answer this?
So
Adam.
Not
you know who's not here?
Of course.
Adam.
Of course.
Adam's sick.
Adam's sick.
So
we miss him.
So today,
are we sick of Adam?
No, I'm never sick of Adam. Love the dude.
Adam's sick.
Adam's sick. So for our Thanksgiving episode 53, which is the first episode of our new year, we give thanks for
games.
Yeah,
a wonderful year of games because we're almost done. Almost done with 2017.
Almost into 2018.
Looking at it in the rear view mirror as we're leaving this year.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet.
No, not yet.
1/12 of the stretch left.
1/12.
A little bit more.
Little tiny bit more.
Tiny
than
bit more.
A little bit more. Anyway, today you get Cliff. I'm in Adam's chair, and it's scary over here.
And it's me, Vicky. I'm back again
Yay,
because
Vicky.
Adam's not here. So.
And Adam East.
Adam East.
The
Actually,
Dylan.
technically, Adam, you're
Left.
Adam North, I believe.
Adam
left. That's terrible.
He's
Anyway.
not here.
It's not here. Today we're going to talk some games, and I think both, I haven't been playing a lot lately, and I made up for it this week. I've got so many games to talk about. We're going to talk some news. Dylan made some sort of terrible pun about the Switch.
I
can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I got a conspiracy theory about EA and microtransactions that we're going to talk about.
Get your tinfoil hats ready.
Exactly.
Because you're going to need them.
We're also going to stop talking about maybe EA. People just need to let them be a little bit. We'll
Another exciting episode of bad journalism.
Yeah, right. This isn't
common
journalism.
these
This
days.
is Reddit. I mean,
Reddit.
Well, yeah.
it's significantly worse
top-tier
than journalism.
of the
But
internet.
at some point, the rumors turned into an article
Exactly.
about it.
Yeah.
So at somewhere along the line, a journalist decided that this was some sort of valuable piece of information.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about Minecon. I had the pleasure of watching that. We got questions from Vinny, Joe Coleslaw, Chalupa Dios, Annie, and Hans. And then, if you didn't know, Black Friday's this weekend. And so there's all sorts of stuff on sale and some free stuff. And then bringing back small bites. We haven't had a small bite in a while. So
Oh, boy.
apparently it has that now.
Yes.
Anyway, why don't we start with what we've been playing? You want to go first, Dylan?
Sure.
Woo!
Where do I start? I did finish Mario. I don't know if I finished it.
Nice, you beat it all the way.
Yeah. Well, there's so much to do when you actually complete the story and beat Bowser.
You still got-
that's
you
not a
got moons,
spoiler.
yo.
It's not a spoiler. You always beat Bowser.
Do you?
Or do you?
Oh.
Have I been letting you astray all this long? You'll have to play and find out. But yeah, basically you finish the game and it tells you that there's a lot more game to play and you can go back to every place and do more stuff that you couldn't do before. So
you can replay
So
the whole thing.
you're really not...
It's like Mario the Metroidvania?
If you want to collect stuff. At that point it becomes,
is this
do you want to collect all the
So
power
so I
moons?
haven't played it, and I know as much about it as what I have seen on the internet, and a lot of that has been talking about moons and how there's like 6 billion moons.
Yeah, there's 6 billion moons.
Roughly. Are there more moons or are there more Korok seeds?
I don't know.
I bet
How many
there's,
Korok seeds?
Like 950 or something?
Yeah.
Probably
was
more
like- it was
Korok.
a
6
hair
billion
under
is
1,000.
much more than 950.
That's true. Yeah.
So, simple math.
Math
leads us
teacher
to the
Dylan here to
answer.
educate us on that one.
But it's great. I don't know how many more power moons I'll go back and get.
Right.
I kind of feel like I need to just go back and play Zelda now and collect Korok seeds, I guess.
I'm
There you go.
giving some very serious... Zelda's supposed to go on sale for $40 this weekend on Amazon. I'm thinking of picking that up.
Yeah.
I will say I've been playing Odyssey as well, and the one thing I'm super disappointed about is that the entire promise of the Switch is built on you being able to take your handheld Switch anywhere and play it. And that is entirely broken by Odyssey's continual insistence that I use motion controls.
That is kind of weird.
I hate that there are things that I cannot do in that game because they require motion controls, and I think that's terrible.
Yeah.
But the game's super good, so I'll give
That's
it a pass.
That is a strange problem to have
Right?
with a console, though,
Yeah.
is to have it be like, it's a console that's able to do that, but not all the time.
Yeah.
So weird.
I also
mix.
find that 3D games on holding it. I mean, that's like a whole different story. But
Hold a handheld just like this.
Yeah, holding a handheld and trying to move your character and look in 3D space is really hard because you've got to use both your thumbs, and then I'm out of things to actually grip my Switch with. So I find I play a lot like handheld, but like resting it on something. It's like a pillow or me or whatever. It's strange. So
the one thing I would say to counter that is none of the motion controls are very necessary to ever doing anything in the game.
I don't know, that spinning attack one seems like it would be pretty handy a lot of the time.
But you don't need it. Okay. None of the motion controls are necessary.
I think it's fair.
Yeah. That's my only counter argument. Is it wrong or right?
It frustrates me though. The
but
game
it does
is
take a little bit away from gameplay.
Well, you could do this with your Switch. That's stupid.
You could do like a dishwasher motion.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do with the Pro controller.
Yeah.
You move the whole controller.
I just find, I don't know, that frustrates me too that it's constantly telling me that I should try motion controls.
Right.
Like,
It forces it.
It's a motion control pusher.
A lot. It's like it's a pusher for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yes.
More PUBG. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Chicken dinner, yo.
Yeah, I win a lot, but not yesterday. We played like trash. Josh, I'm calling you out. I think,
dude, you shot him in the head. You never get to call him out.
I tried to save him. I died doing it, but I tried. He actually disconnected from the game.
Oh.
And then reconnected while we were still in the plane. And we're like, okay, we're dropping. We're going to our spot. And the game wouldn't let him drop out of the plane.
Oh my God.
So he flew to the opposite end of the map. So I grabbed it. I jumped in a buggy. I was trucking it. I was probably 300 yards from him. And I got shot.
Oh, no.
Right out of the driver's seat.
Oh, there's a movie just waiting to be written.
And then they basically played the three of them almost to the end. And we almost won. And I don't know why I went to save him. We should have just let him figure it out because he made it anyway.
It's because you shot him and you owe him. It's like some sort of Band of Brothers thing.
He got a victory after I shot him, so that's what he was owed. He got it. But we sucked. We'll play again tonight, maybe.
Very nice.
And reclaim what was lost.
Your victories.
I hope so.
Probably
Good luck.
our dignity.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was a display of terror.
It happens.
It was
Terror.
bad.
Not every day, man.
And other than that, Pokemon Ultra Moon.
Oh, how'd you like that? That's the new one, right?
Yes. Man, it takes a long time to get past what I guess would be called the intro, which is a little frustrating for someone who's played many iterations of this game. Just let me pick my starter Pokemon and go. I understand what the Pokemon Center is.
Doesn't everyone? They're like little teeny critters you put in balls.
That might be more something for like somebody like myself who hasn't played Pokemon
It would be
before.
helpful to just step by step, but
it doesn't give you an option to like skip that.
No, because it's not like a cutscene or anything, but it like baby steps
No,
you
yeah,
through
but, like,
many objectives.
The ability to like skip through the basically tutorial part of the game.
And so that was a little frustrating because it was a lot of just hitting A or whatever button just to keep. Come on, let me go out and catch Pokemon.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fun. Like the games have gotten so 3D, so it's almost like you're exploring a 3D world rather than the old school top-down kind of look. So it's a really neat hybrid. It looks good. The Pokemon look good. Man, there's some wacky Pokemon nowadays.
Yes.
It's when they decided that a vanilla ice cream cone was supposed to be a Pokemon that I kind of was like scratching my head.
I think the thing is like, can you imagine having to do that? Like having to sit down and like,
oh my gosh.
Okay, so we got through our first 100, and then the second 100 is when you hit ice cream cone critters.
How many Pokemon are there now?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Hundreds.
I'm guessing 700 as a ballpark. I don't know.
I
They're not
might
all in
Google
the
it right
game.
now, are you Googling it? Cliff?
I'm Googling it.
Yeah.
802, without including Mega Evolutions and Alola forms.
Yeah,
whatever those are.
I believe the Alola forms is kind of Alola forms. That's a funny. That's kind of a fun word. So Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun are basically like Sun and Moon, which the day-night cycles are swapped. So since I'm playing Ultra Moon, if I'm playing during the daytime here in real life, it's nighttime. Vice versa.
That's interesting.
So there's certain Pokemons that you find here that are based on like dusk and dawn. I think I don't know because I didn't play I didn't play Sun or Moon. So I don't know. I'm going to find that out.
Cool.
I'm very excited.
Let
but it's a
us
lot of
know.
fun, and it's
Let
fun
us
because
know.
you
Report
see,
back, Dylan.
One, I do find it funny that you can tell they're kind of out of ideas for Pokemon because they've basically rebooted old Pokemon. Like, there's a new bug type that will grow into something that's a bigger bug, and so it's like they're very similar. Like, now there's a poodle, which just looks like the cat Pokemon, and I'm sure it evolves one more time into a bigger poodle.
A big poodle.
So it's like there's these Pokemon that you can tell they're basically replicas of older Pokemon. They've just kind of been rebooted into something different, but it pretty much fulfills the same role. But I do like seeing old original 150 Pokemon that pop up. Like when I saw my first Abra, I was like, yes, I need an Abra. So I forgot that when you encounter an Abra, it just teleports away. That's the biggest pain in your bottom if you want to catch an Abra. So you just have to throw a Pokeball and hope you catch it the first time because then it just teleports away.
That's awesome.
So I ran around in that circle of grass for probably an hour and a half before I finally caught the Abra. But now I have an Abra, and it will turn into a Kadabra and then an Alakazam.
Wait, does it really?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's amazing. I don't really know what my strategy is going to be yet. I don't know what kind of Pokemon I'm going to go after. But so right now I got a bunch of old school Pokemon like Magnemite and Abra and Grimer. So
This game sounds ridiculous.
I know.
I'm pretty excited though.
Boy.
I'm happy for you.
It's a lot of fun and it's just like old times.
I like it.
Aw,
So
sweet.
Young Dylan.
but
I know.
I recommend it for people who have been interested in Pokemon and never tried it because it is kind of, I think it's really an ultimate version of what they've done in the past. Whether or not the newer Pokemon are necessarily better or worse than the old designs, I'm not going to argue that, but the game itself is really streamlined. And even like small things like when you encounter a Pokemon that your type has a weakness to it or something, once you've encountered that Pokemon once, the next time you fight it, next to your moves, it will tell you its effectiveness against that type. So you don't have to rack your brain and say, okay, it's a bug type. So if I use flying, that's super effective. It just kind of tells you, so you don't have to keep track of all that stuff.
That's really
nice.
handy for someone like myself who,
Right.
wow, that
So,
would be quite a lot to
I just think
remember all
that's
that.
something that, it's like, yeah, we know that certain types have strengths. Like fire is better than grass. Like fire wins over grass. But it's nice just to see your moves being, okay, this is a fire move.
Fairy
it works
versus
against this.
dark.
Right.
One.
That's when
Which
it
one
starts
would-
getting weird is you get the psychics, the ghosts, the fairies, the darks, the steel, and all these other types that
That's
aren't as
new.
simple as grass, fire, and water.
Yeah.
It makes it easy to kind of keep track of that because a lot of Pokemon usually have two types, so you don't necessarily know what that other type is and how it synergizes or antagonizes with those attacks. So
I want to play a Pokemon, but I think I'm going to hold off, honestly, until something comes out on the Switch.
yeah,
Like, I don't
it's
need to
gonna
dig
whatever it is. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I just don't want to dig out my DS. So, how about you, Vicky?
Um,
Kingdom of Amalur?
So I mentioned it on last week's episode when I was talking to you guys, but the thing I've been playing lately is Kingdoms of Amalur, and anybody who's a friend of mine on Steam will see that I'd like get on Kingdoms of Amalur, stay there for about 4 hours, and then get off when it's time for bed. And so like I'm losing my life to that game, which
That's
is
cool.
It's
Nothing wrong with it.
awesome. I so love it, and I was actually looking it up, and I found out that there was before Big Huge went under, the developer of that game, they had plans to make an MMO of it, like, and apparently it was going to be pretty similar to World of Warcraft, and it was going to take place, I think it was like 2,000 years past when this one takes place.
Interesting.
Man, there's some rich timelines in that game. Like, you're playing in the space like of less than a year is like when you're actually playing in this game, and there's like 10,000 years of lore around that less than year.
That's
That
crazy.
it's like it reminds me of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
In its depth, because it's like, you know, when you read like the actual story of the Lord of the Rings and then you compare it to the Silmarillion, it's like half a paragraph. So yeah, it's such a good game, and I love it so much, and I'm playing it like 100% completionist, like
Nice.
picking up every single thing around the whole world, doing every single quest, and driving myself insane.
Nice.
But
This game's got an interesting history too. Like, it's like the company was started by a baseball player who got some money, and
I'm really shocked that it came out so amazing.
Yeah, and they got $81 million from the state of Rhode Island.
And so technically and so the property of Kingdoms of Amalur belongs to the state of Rhode Island. Yeah, and so I mean, like, somebody I guess could go buy it from Rhode Island and keep doing stuff with it, because I mean,
that game's probably one of my number one games that I've had on my list to play that I haven't played.
Yeah, same.
I played the
really
demo
good.
and I loved it, and it's something I just never got around to picking up.
It's definitely got a slow beginning where you're learning how to play, and they're like kind of walking you through what's happening, and then after you kind of figure out what the story is going to be, it like picks up real fast.
Yeah. I keep getting this itch to play Skyrim, especially with Skyrim coming out on Switch and coming out on VR. Like,
I saw somebody doing Skyrim VR. I didn't get a chance to watch, but it like popped up on my phone like while I was at work. It's like, oh, I'm streaming Skyrim VR. I was like,
Yeah, I heard it's good, but I've been kind of having that itch, so maybe instead of playing Skyrim again for the second time, I should just play.
It's really, I mean, I just had a sequence. It had a really similar. I mean, it even had like it wasn't part of the main story. It was part of like the side faction story things that you could get involved in if you want. But it was literally like there's a giant mountain in the middle of the map. You need to go climb it, and like and talk to the mage guy, and I'm like, wow. Never done this before. So, I mean, I didn't care because it did it in its own way. And
I mean, the reality is if you've played one fantasy-themed video game, you've played literally
I just thought it was
all
really
of them.
funny that it had like that the mountain with the guy at the top, and you need to talk to him about magic. It's like it's a completely different context.
Can you climb anything?
No, here's the thing. This is a weird thing about this game. Okay, you don't have a jump feature.
Really?
No, you can't jump.
It's like Gears of War.
So it's like. I don't know. That took getting used to.
Yeah.
So
I honestly kind of like games that you can't jump in sometimes because one, jumping allows you to get in places where you get stuck and you can't get out of.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't actually add to the game, sometimes jumping just looks stupid.
Right.
I think you're like jumping around
are
and
often terrible.
And you're like in this giant suit of armor. It's like, no, you can't jump like that. You cannot jump on that giant boulder.
Yeah.
That's just not. So that really doesn't.
That's why I only wore bone armor.
But I expect to be able to climb everything in every game I ever play. Ever.
Interesting.
Climb everything. Where was this feature?
Okay, someday I'll have to talk to you about WildStar and how that you get rewarded for doing that. But that's one of my favorite things about that game. But yeah, anyway, I've been playing Kingdoms of Amalur a lot.
Sweet.
Great game.
I've been playing a bunch of stuff. We won't spend much time on any of it because none of it's super amazing. It's all amazing.
A lot
but
of brief plays.
Yeah. Well, it's more just like I've talked about most of these things before. We have. I did pick up Rocket League on the Switch, and it's really good. Not just like
how did you play it before?
Like everywhere else.
Oh, okay,
this is my fourth copy of Rocket League that I've purchased.
For yourself.
For myself. I own it on all the systems. I own it PC, PS4, Xbox, and now the Switch.
Beautiful.
So, it plays really well, and like not just looks good, but it actually plays handheld really well because there's just not that many buttons you really need to use. You know, a trigger makes you drive, and then you've got, I guess, B and A or whatever for boost and jump, and then just a directional controller. So I've played a couple games against the PC just to kind of get the feel for it, and then I played online, and it plays really, really, really well. I did not cross-play against Xbox and PC or PlayStation, whoever's in that thing together, just because... It seems like if you're not playing with controller, you're probably going to be at a disadvantage to people playing with controllers.
I wonder who it does crossplay with.
I think everyone but PlayStation. I believe.
Yeah. Awesome.
So it's along with because we've played Xbox PC
a bunch. Yeah. So I think in theory
you can play with that.
I think, too. And we actually played. We did a Rocket League game this weekend, and I meant to pull it open and just never did. So.
Yeah.
But I played that. It looks great. Super fun.
The Mario Kart.
It's super cool, and when you jump using the Mario Kart, it does that like Mario like boing, like you know the noise Mario makes when he jumps. It makes that noise.
So you're telling me if I get Rocket League on the Switch and hook up my Pro controller because I'm about to cross-play with you, that I can be the Mario Kart and you can't because you're not on the Nintendo?
Yes.
So you see me driving around the Mario Kart?
Now who's got the disadvantage?
If we were playing together and we're on different teams, one of you would be the Mario car and one of you would be the Luigi car.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun. It's a good time. So I did that. I also played some Assassin's Creed Origins that Adams was talking about. It's fun. It's gorgeous. It is so pretty 4K
That's how it
HDR.
looked in trailers.
It's
looked
just
really pretty.
Stunning, and it's fun. I've really enjoyed myself so far. The only weird thing to get used to is that when you're playing, because I'm playing on the Xbox, your right trigger is your heavy attack, and your right bumper is your light attack, which is different than a lot of games I've played with.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is, and like at first I'm like, that's weird, and then you get used to it, and it works really well.
Yeah. Okay.
So we did that. I played Forza 3 last night, and I've wanted to play Forza forever. And so, I mean, it's not a new game. My God, it's fun. Like, I don't think I realized how kind of adrenaline-y it was until I stopped playing. And, like, I just finished a big race. Like, my heart's pounding. And I'm like, and I'm terrible at it. I'm so bad at it. I'm just like, it's so easy, especially when you're driving one of the fast race cars, to just miss one thing, and all of a sudden your car's sideways, against a tree on the outside
I'm really
of the track.
terrible at driving games.
Yeah.
I think the only one I've ever been any good at is Crazy Taxi. So
Like, that's a throwback.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but it's really cool, and it's cool too. If you have friends that own the game, when you race in races, you race against their drivatars. So, like last night, I was racing against Vinny and the Mad Chicken, who I think is one of our he actually works for our company out in St. Louis. I think that's who it was. And Major Nelson, the dude who runs PR for Xbox. So
nice.
Yeah, it's really strange, like who you pulled a race against, and I beat all of them.
Way to go!
You showed them.
About to get a letter from Xbox.
Right, I know. It was really fun. So I'm excited about that. I think I'm actually going to try and pick that up on Black Friday. It's supposed to be like $15 somewhere, because I really, 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 really want to play the Hot Wheels expansion for it.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else have I been playing? I played. So I bought Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Is that what it's called? Something Colossus. I bought that, but I have not played it yet because I never beat Wolfenstein: The New Order. So I started playing Wolfenstein: The New Order a couple days ago, and I'm probably an hour and a half, 2 hours into it, and that game is magic. It's 4 years old, and it's still absolutely gorgeous. I can play. I mean, I'm playing it at like 1440, high-resed everything on my PC, and it's absolutely stunning looking. And shooting Nazis in this day and age is real fun. So, I recommend shooting Nazis.
Yeah.
In video games.
Of course.
Punch them in real life.
For real.
And finally, I played the most divisive.
What divisive?
Most talk divisive. That's the word I'm looking for. Divisive game in the entire world right now. I played Battlefront 2, which I also purchased.
Yes.
And I have not played a ton of it, and I've only played the online part. I'm actually going to play the single player is only supposed to be about 4 hours long, so I think I'm going to actually stream it the entire thing this weekend. And it's good. It's really, really, really pretty. Like the last one was gorgeous, and this one's better. You play on I played 2 different missions, and the first one you play on Endor, and it's like being in a forest. There are huge trees and little trees and underbrush and fog, and then we played a space mission where you're trying to either attack or defend like an Imperial space base thing. And it's incredible. The kind of format that, at least in the mode I was playing on, I think was, let's say, like 25 versus 25-ish. And you play your mission as either the Rebels or the Imperials. And then once you win or lose, you switch and do the same mission from the opposite side as the other team, which is cool because it gives you a chance to see both sides of it. It really sucks, though, if you end up on a really bad team, because then you get to lose twice.
True.
And I did that the first time. I lost twice, and the second time we won both of them. I'm absolutely terrible at it. Hot garbage at it. So far, I have not been offered any microtransactions. We'll see how that continues.
You're real bad. Pay $1 to be better.
I
would pay them.
I guarantee you, if I could pay them $5 and they're like, "We can make you better," I would be. They would have my credit card in 2 heartbeats. Like, I'm bad, and the thing is you don't know if you're bad because I have a hard time telling if I'm bad because I'm bad or if I'm bad because other people have stuff better than me. Like either people have played more and so they have better stuff, or
there
they've paid to win.
There is exactly the discussion.
But I mean,
haven't they pulled that?
Yeah. But you can still. But if you still play long enough, you can get stuff. So,
okay.
Or I guess if maybe you bought it, I don't know.
Yeah,
but anyway, so far it's fun and it's really pretty. Maybe the only argument I would have is that it's kind of weird to see, like when you're playing multiplayer, you can call in heroes. Or play as a hero, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really weird to be somewhere and see like Yoda fighting in the same place with Rey in the same place with Darth Maul.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so the canon's a little bit wacky, but whatever.
Yeah.
Canon, anyway.
Canon.
Anyway, I believe it is now time
for news.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
News. So Dylan made this pun. It says, Switch invited to its third party, and now we are not supposed to clap. Anyway.
Hold your applause.
Hold your applause. So, Dylan, please explain.
Well, the Nintendo Switch finally got a lot of third-party support, and it seems like we're seeing that now.
So there's no link for me to look at these titles, so would you like to elaborate?
Well, Doom came out fairly recently, right? And then right after that, we got Skyrim, we got L.A. Noire, we got... Oh, man.
Ton of stuff.
There was another big one, too, I thought. But it became apparent to me when I was walking down the aisle at Target, and I saw a bunch of games in the Nintendo Switch aisle.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It was just games.
Yep.
Like, they have a Dragon Ball Z game now, too, so it's like... There was all these games.
Is that the fighting game, the Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Good Lord, that looked pretty. Like I have no
those
interest
games
in
look
it,
great
but God, it looks great.
The art style is just like the show, and they just look so good. Those games are real fun.
So, can I address a bit of controversy around Doom? So a lot of people are saying that there's a Nintendo Switch effect for video game reviews. Doom, for its original review for IGN, got like a 7.1, and for Doom for the Switch got like an 8.2, and everyone's saying, well, but it's just because it's a Switch game, or that it shouldn't get extra points just because it's portable. And I just want to explain quickly why this happens, and it's because two different people reviewed those games.
Yeah.
Like, and if you need if you need an explanation past that, well, you're dumb.
It is a review is one person's opinion
on a game.
At any given time.
But the other side of that is Doom came out for the Xbox a year ago, a little more than a year ago, probably. And it came out with really, it's going to have bugs on the first review, and it came out with really broken multiplayer. The Switch version probably doesn't have multiplayer, and it's had all of the bugs fixed that made the first one bad.
Right.
So it's like if you took a game and reviewed it, and then a year later reviewed it again. It's like, it's going to be better. So, because they fixed it.
But people are all over these message boards. Like, today's might just be conspiracy theory chat.
Yeah.
It's because of this, it's the Switch effect. It's because it's a Switch game. People are giving it better reviews because they love their Switch, or they're getting paid by Nintendo, or
oh my gosh,
what other insanity people want to assign to this.
You could speculate all you want as to why, but at the end of the day, it's somebody else that's reviewing it, and it doesn't matter.
Video games are someone's opinion.
Really subjective, guys.
I mean, I obviously do find it weird that when a game gets ported later and you review it again, it's kind of weird and arbitrary.
The thing is
but
to review it again.
Right, it's been reviewed. We know that game's good, but I mean, yes, if it offered something different on a platform, let's talk about it.
Yeah. But I mean, the reality is it's just, if you go to Metacritic and you look at any game, pull any game, it's going to have a different Metacritic score for the PlayStation and the Xbox version of it, even though most of the time they're so close to identical that there's no reason for them to review different. It's just reviews are a single person. Reviews are crazy important. Like, they give you a very good view into how things are. But it's like Amazon. Like, do you ever go to Amazon and just like pick one person's review and go like, oh, he's the one that knows?
No. He gets it.
Yeah. No, you look at the good ones, you look at the bad ones,
Obviously,
you look at the middle ones, and make
reviews.
a decision. And
it was kind of weird because I was looking at some of the reviews, and I was kind of thinking about this too. And I think I saw the review for L.A. Noire on IGN or whatever it was, and I think it kind of summed up their review was like, great story, poor open world, and it's like that's exactly what it was before. So it's like, I mean, the game hasn't changed. It's the same game.
Yeah.
It's just now it's on a Switch.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, I guess anyone who I think the thing is Doom did not come out to rave reviews, and I didn't think it was that great of a game. You know, like it was good, but it wasn't great. Soundtrack
I thought it was
fantastic.
An awesome shooter.
Yeah. I spent the entire
really
game saying I want God mode and unlimited ammo in this because that would make this game
that would
fun.
be so fun. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
You know, I've almost bought it on the PC just so I could have that experience because the game was fun. It felt great. But every time I ran out of ammo and was down to like my little pew pew gun, I'm like, well, this sucks now. You know?
See, I never had that problem. I don't know. Like, it was. I
And
never
it's the
had to use
exact
my
same
Never had to
experience.
use the pew pew
I never
gun.
had to use the pew pew.
It's the exact same experience my brother had. So, I don't
That's
know.
weird. Yeah. No,
Probably
I
just different ways to play. I don't
You're
know.
just terrible at
I'm just a good
conserving your
shot.
ammo.
I'm terrible at video games.
There's
It's the
it's the
theme.
secret, guys.
It's the theme of the podcast. It has been at least forever. Anyway, I didn't mean to derail you about Switch, but
No,
no,
that's
I
really
agree.
weird. I just kind of wanted to. I thought it was a good moment to talk about it because we hit this kind of holiday season, and we finally saw a bunch of games that we've never seen. Really,
There's
on
more to come.
Nintendo. I mean, yeah, and they got the 2K games now, like the WWE game, and
It's good
Wolfenstein's
stuff.
coming down the road.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to play these kind of games on my Switch
No.
ever. That's the
yeah.
one interesting thing is I don't know how many people this is their primary console where they're actually going to play these games.
I don't know.
There's
I've heard a
obviously
lot of people
out there probably.
Yeah, I'm
but,
sure there are. Like, I really want to play Skyrim on the Switch. I
Yeah.
really do. I'm having to, like, every day I have to remind myself, like, you've already put 130 hours in that game. You don't need to buy
don't
it just
need to
because
play
it's
it again.
portable. You know, like, if you're going to buy it again, buy it on a PC so you can make it look pretty.
Right.
You know?
It's 6 years old.
But really, just don't
playing
buy
it
it
on
again.
the
Play
go
Kingdom,
would be great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
play Kingdom of Amalur instead.
There you go.
See?
Yeah, if it for some reason
out on
gets
Switch.
put out on Switch. Hey, Rhode Island, do us a solid.
Shout out to Rhode Island.
So yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's-
can we all put on our tinfoil hats? I wish I brought, like, we
Yes,
could have
I
done
can't
some,
wait.
like, Foley, like, crinkle up some
forgot I was
tinfoil.
gonna bring
Yeah.
foil.
Anyway,
Make some crinkling noises.
so as you probably know, there has been a little bit of, I'm going to use my favorite word of the week, hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
Oh,
I've been saying that
boy.
a lot.
I have too. I don't know
Okay.
why. It just happened around Battlefront 2 and its microtransactions, and to a far smaller degree, Need for Speed Payback.
or at least uproar.
Yeah.
Because more people care about Star Wars than Need for
Yeah.
Speed.
I think
Yeah.
that's the reality. And Need for Speed is, from what I've heard, is arguably a okay game with bad microtransactions, which has made for not a lot of people being super interested in it.
And the
But
other
Yeah.
one is Star Wars.
anyway, I don't want to talk about microtransactions. Like, if anyone still needs to talk about that, there's 50 other podcasts that have addressed
I mean,
this.
it's been
in the last 24
beaten
hours.
to the ground
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple times now.
Deal
so
with it.
Yeah, there's a dead horse, whatever. But what I do want to address,
Stop kicking the dead horse when it stops spitting out hot takes.
right,
so.
is two ideas around microtransactions with these games. And one is that both of these games came out and almost immediately changed the way their microtransactions worked. Battlefront did it in between their beta and the game, and then did it again immediately after. So they said, here's our beta. We're redoing the way these microtransactions work. And then after launch, within like a day and a half,
fast.
did it again and turned them off. And that's my point, is it's so fast. And Need for Speed did the same thing, where it came out, not that long ago, and then they immediately redid it, which says to me, and like this is, like I said, tinfoil hat, I am not a video game programmer. I am a programmer of some sort, and so I'm familiar with the methodology of this, but I'm not a video game guy, so I can't speak exactly. But it really says to me that they created a microtransaction system, and inside of their game, inside their build tools, inside of something, built a way to adjust it very, very easily. And to me, you would only do that if you knew that there was a very good chance that at some point in the future you would have to adjust it.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my second question. Okay. So EA has been playing around with microtransactions for a while, but it's very hard to see how far you can push microtransactions, right? Because you're going to get uproar. And so Need for Speed pushed it too far, but no one cares. The game's not good.
Yeah.
But people are going to buy Battlefront 2 regardless of anything because there's so many.
They'll buy it and complain about it and play it anyway.
Well, and some people aren't even ever going to know because they're Star Wars fans. They buy that game because they're Star Wars fans. They buy that game because it's the biggest game of the year. They buy that game because it's been hyped forever. They buy that game for whatever. And so that game's going to sell 10 or 15 million copies, probably regardless of uproar. You know, people are all over the internet like, oh my God, I heard they canceled 70,000 pre-orders. Who cares? 70,000, like it seems like a huge number until you put that against a million or 2 million or 5 million or 10 million. And so here's the conspiracy theory. EA said, let's see how far we can push microtransactions, push them all the way out there to a level where people are doing the math and saying it's going to take 4,000 hours to get all of the, unlocks within this game. And then let's pull them back a little bit and see where the point is that people will go like, well, it's still microtransactions, but I'll deal with it. And do it in a game that isn't going to get killed because of that. And so now what EA has done is they've said, like, now we know where that pain point is.
They're setting the precedent in this. And it's so, this is such a weird story.
Right?
For so many reasons. Because, like, you're right. Like, they clearly did. I mean, the turnaround they had on that was way too
fast. It's way too fast to test and debug and balance and submit for.
No, they definitely prepared for this.
Right?
That's weird. I mean, here's the thing. Because when the news came out that EA was pulling their microtransactions, everybody were like, "Oh my God, EA is amazing! They're actually listening to us." And like this, that seemed really out of character for such a huge publisher. It did not matter whether they turned those off. People were going to buy the game.
Yeah. Oh, buy it anyway.
People are going to buy it. They're going to make so much money on that game, like whether or not they listen to everyone. And so.
The only other theory I've heard is that Disney said,
"Oh
knock it off
that's
and
the
slap
thing.
their
That's
hand.
what apparently what happened is Disney said we don't want Star Wars associated with
this
people
negative press.
being pissed off about it." And so like they knew that Disney was going to say that, and
I don't know.
Made a version without, or maybe Disney said, we don't think people are going to like this. We want you to make it. It's easy to turn this off in case they get pissed,
right?
Because this is an ongoing conversation. It has been for a while. Microtransactions, and so it's not surprising for them to have been prepared to have a microtransaction free version. But I would have liked to hear some of the meetings going on.
I'd like to be on a bug on that wall.
Released.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting to me.
I would be nervous to make a game where you didn't have control over microtransactions like that. Yeah. Especially when I mean, what they did essentially, as my understanding is, they lowered the cost of things, basically nerfing the grind it would take.
Yeah.
That's not a complicated equation.
Is it? I mean, think about
I haven't
you need to play
built a game
900 games to get 20,000 credits. Now you only need 5,000 credits. That's not a hard equation.
I don't know, but
it takes 25%. So that's something you should build into a game.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And I don't disagree. I just wonder first of all, like knowing how complicated or uncomplicated that is a question that I don't know the answer to.
I mean, to me, that's typing in a field. This guy costs 4,000, not 16,000.
But how hard is it to balance that? Do all of them cost the same? I just don't know. Like I said, I've not been offered the microtransaction box yet, so I'm not really sure.
I mean, that's what we don't know. But
how hard is it to balance something like that? Yeah. What are the possibilities that changing that would change something else? What are the unintended consequences? What's the QA testing that goes into a change like that?
Yeah.
So essentially, what we're all trying to figure out is the intention of EA.
It could be 5 minutes. It could be 50 hours. Like there's just no.
Well, yeah, well, in theory, I mean, it's not a curve. It is linear.
Yeah.
If you need 20,000 points to unlock Yoda, and now it's 5,000, it's 25% less time to unlock them, and without not considering boosts, XP boosts, or anything like that.
Yep.
So that's the other question: is how quickly are they actually going to get it? Because you can boost to 5,000 pretty quick. After that, it does kind of become a curve if you have a 1 day boost or something, but that's getting in the weeds.
I don't know, man. I just to me it's just interesting. Like and this is definitely not the first nor the last time we'll hear about microtransactions before they settle into some sort of horrible place that no one likes but everyone can put up with.
Yeah. So basically I feel like what everybody's trying to do is figure out whether EA is the good guy or the bad guy in this particular event.
I am not going to. I will not make.
I'm just saying they're the business people.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to make this overly political.
Oh, yeah.
But what I will say is that if you are a person that believes that a free market is the way to manage things, this is the free market.
Yep. Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, to me, I would not be a problem if they did it where I could just buy the dang characters.
See, and I think that's what and we say this all the time for free-to-play mobile games is I don't want to play...
I don't want to play your game. I want to give you money.
Yeah.
I want to play the game less.
Yeah. The game that I like,
but
there's
I want
two
to give
for
you
me,
more money.
is one's Dragonvale or Dragonville. I don't know. I raised dragons and bred them and shit.
Nice.
Sorry. And there's a motorcycle racing game that I really liked, and you know, one you had to wait for your.
Was that Trials and
it was Trials in its
early iteration?
Mobile, no, it was actually a later
mobile?
iteration. Yeah,
Okay.
It was a mobile iteration. Great game. Had a real fun story too. But I loved both those, and both of them were wait to do something.
Yeah.
You know, like it took forever to breed dragons, or you had to wait to get more gas to do more races. And both of those games, I would have said like, here's $10, just let's go. You know, if I could have just turned them off altogether. And so like that's kind of the conversation we're having now is, would this have been better if instead of having the microtransactions that were kind of randomized, if we could have said like, hey, just go buy Darth Vader. Here's $5 to buy Darth Vader. Here's $5 to buy Yoda. Here's $5. Mm-hmm. Is that a better microtransaction model?
Yes.
Yeah.
For people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, here's the...
But I mean, those characters are also very powerful. Is that pay to win now?
No.
Are you sure?
It's just a character. Everyone can buy it. You're not winning. That's not winning you games.
But I think it is.
It's giving you a serious
Can you play those
advantage.
characters 100% of the time, though?
I'm not sure how. I don't think so. I'm not really. I honestly don't know exactly even why to buy them. I haven't played enough of that game to figure it out yet.
To me, this conversation, I go straight to Rainbow Six Siege. They release new characters every 3 months. They have a couple quarter seasons per year, whatever it is. They're going into season 3. You can unlock those characters with points in currency from the games you play. Or you can buy the season pass and you just get the characters.
And get all the characters.
Those are the characters you can play every game. Battlefront's weird because it's... I don't know, are you foot soldiers and then you can be Luke?
I think so. Like I said, I'm not smart enough to know.
And in that case, no, it's really not. Unless you can play that character always. But then again, it doesn't really matter because you can unlock it later and use it all the time
the time anyway.
Well,
yeah.
So you should just buy it.
I understand. I understand why you can't do that. And it's the same. It's actually like a really similar reason why you can't buy, like, just pay money to have these like gaps in time mobile games go away. And it's because the point of it is to get you to keep playing.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I really hate that whole thing where you have to wait 3 hours before you keep playing this stupid game. But there's a reason that exists, and it's because it's apparently part of the base model to keep people coming back to the game is to build that in.
And part of it too is whales. It's people that are willing to spend $500. It's 90, like your average free to play game. 95 or 5% of its users fund 95% of its players. Right. So, you know, it's people that are willing to pay $500, you know, or $1,000 to do this thing. And some of those people are wealthy and just want to do it, and some of those people have serious gambling addictions. Right. So, hey.
And I think the problem we're seeing is those whales are now getting in the way of the casual player base.
Yep.
So they're not actually getting to play their game because they're marketing to too many people.
Yep.
They're not marketing to the whales anymore. They're now saying, you can't play Yoda. Yeah. It's Star Wars and you can't play Yoda. Well, now I don't want to play your game because that's all I want. I always want to play Yoda.
Anyway, let's never talk about microtransactions again. Can we have like a week of just microtransaction free podcast?
Or we need to get it all out in one microtransaction episode.
The microtransaction
so far,
podcast.
That's what this is.
So what I'll say about the microtransaction cast is we'll do it, but it's going to cost you $5 to listen to it. And it's going to cost you an extra $7 to listen to the second half. That's when all the good stuff will be.
And if you want good audio quality, it's another $3.
Exactly. You can buy a really crappy MP3 for... Anyway,
but there's a free version we'll put through a vocal transformer, and we'll sound like this.
No, the free version, you get the first 3 minutes.
The free version's first 3 minutes.
Stop that, Dylan. Anyway, we're actually going to keep talking about EA now.
Yay!
Yeah, right? But we're actually going to talk about...
something else.
Rumors. Like,
yeah, more rumors.
And what I'm going to say, like, I think to preface this is, so this is widespread rumors about EA firing the guy who created Plants vs. Zombies.
Which, that's a great guy.
He's right.
I don't know him personally, so maybe he's not.
He made
I don't
Plants
know,
vs. Zombies, so he's got to be an okay dude.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened is very much like the microtransactions controversy is things happened and then the internet blew up, and the EA microtransaction thing is now very famously the most downvoted comment on Reddit. And that's great, but whatever. So anyway, last week a rumor started on a podcast where a friend of the guy
the guy who made it is George Fan, right?
George Fan is the creator of Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah.
A friend of his said that essentially what happened is he made Plants vs. Zombies and it was great, and then EA said, "Hey, great, let's make another one of these."
And he was down for it. He was ready for
it.
Yeah.
And let's make another one of these, except we want to make it a free to play game. And he said no, and EA fired him, and that was the rumor. With a degree of conciseness. Yeah. And
those things are all true, but not related.
That's
kind of. Yeah. So the internet blew up, hit the front page of Reddit, 17,000 upvotes. IGN picked it up. A bunch of other people picked it up.
It wasn't free to play, by the way. It was pay to win.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Whatever.
So, but yeah, heads up.
Those are the same thing.
And just
effectively.
Being specific.
Anyway, you're not wrong. But, this blew up and everyone took it because everyone's already pissed at EA because EA is the worst company in the world. And apparently, I don't know, maybe you all never heard of, Exxon Valdez. But whatever, everything blew up. And it turns out this is not really true. Yes, it is true that he made Plants vs. Zombies. Good guy, like him.
Yep.
It is also true that
they wanted that freemium structure to it.
It is also true that he eventually lost his job at EA.
He also opposed that. He did not want to do that.
Yeah, these are all
these things are true. None of them are related.
It's murky. It's murky right now or that's what it seemed like.
I think he actually came out and said,
he came out with an
he's basically said those things are true, but that's not.
It's super weird because the first thing he said was he was like, I'm going to make a statement. And then his statement was a tweet. Yeah. And his tweet said, yes, I did. I was against this freemium play, and yes, I lost my job. Those were the two things he said. He didn't say those things are caused, but he also didn't say they're not. He just put it both out there, and it looked related when you read his. And so it's like, I understand why this. No offense to George Fan, but I think he fan flames a little bit.
Now he could have made the tweet better.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't know. You can also add more to it.
Yeah. But anyway, a third PopCap employee who was actually there at the time has come out and said, no, he was laid off with 50 other people.
Yeah,
PopCap just, EA kind of went in a different direction, and he wasn't making the kind of games that PopCap was interested in or that EA was interested in, and so. Yeah, he lost his job. And I mean, does it suck that someone who created a fantastic game that everyone loves
doesn't get to work on that game?
Doesn't get to work on that game. Yeah, totally does. But this is kind of what we talked about last week is, there's if you want to maintain control of your intellectual property, don't sell it to EA.
Yeah, there you go. Or,
you sold it, therefore you were traded money.
Yeah, and I think he actually was actually...
I think he's probably cool. He doesn't sound like he's made any comments about, this sucks because I can't work on this game anymore. It's like he knew what he did.
Yeah.
He sold it.
He knew what he was doing when
they
sold it. When they...
If you want to maintain control of your IP, don't sell it.
And
that's the moral of this story.
It wasn't like he was an indie developer and made Plants vs. Zombies. He worked for PopCap and came up with the idea. But, it's one of those things that it happens. I mean, people, again, we talked about it last week before. I don't know. I talked about this constantly. Video games are a business. And businesses fire people. Businesses lay off people. Businesses make the best decision based on business.
Yeah.
And business comes down to money all the time. And so if you aren't willing to make a free-to-play, right? Free-to-play?
Pay to win.
Pay to win.
Premium.
Yeah.
Version of your game, and EA owns you.
Creepy.
EA will
Creepy.
replace you.
Creepy.
And I mean, does that suck? Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, quite frankly, if I came to work and told my boss, like, hey, I'm not going to build websites anymore, like, they would also fire me.
Yeah.
And no gamers would feel bad.
I don't like your direction with this website thing.
Right?
I think we should do newspapers.
Yeah. It's the reality. And people, like, gamers don't want to think about that, but it's a business.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's an interesting cross between business and art, but
Yeah.
the thing is, you can't forget that there is a business part of it.
But I
so.
mean, the reality is art has always worked that way too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah,
You can do art for yourself,
Yeah.
or you can do art
sell
and try
it.
to sell it
Yeah.
to other people.
And
But I
make
mean,
lots of
even
money,
back with
so.
patrons, like if
Right.
if
You're
whoever
gonna paint
had,
this
Oh, yeah.
for me. I'm gonna give
yeah,
you money. We're going
like,
to
well, I
paint it.
don't really
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's a very good plan for the Sistine Chapel. Like, they just find someone else, like
Yep.
it's how it goes.
Yeah.
So, but now people
It's
can.
my wall. You're
Yeah.
going to paint what I want on it.
Yeah, I'm buying your paints and I'm paying you, so
Yeah.
you paint what I want. So,
I want your
Any-
hands.
anyway, stop spreading rumors about stupid things and like.
I understand how the rumor got spread,
I do
and
too.
I understand why people were so ready to believe it. But
I think the thing is it's exactly like we were talking about. Shadows of War. That's the new one, right? Where that game probably sold less because of rumors about microtransactions that no one knew the answer to, but everyone was sure they knew the answer to.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
and I guess the thing is if Battlefront 2 ends up being, from what I've heard, like all the reviews so far is that it's a pretty okay game hampered by microtransactions. And if that's true, like, fine. But no one really knew that until the game came out.
Yeah.
So,
The game was never out. Like
Yeah.
it's barely been out.
I mean,
Yeah,
people got to
it's-
play it in early
yeah.
access, but that's
and
very
they
different.
removed the microtransactions, and it's so no one's even experienced them other than from testing purposes. And even then, I don't think you can spend money in
Yeah.
testing.
I don't know.
Usually,
I'm not
they,
sure.
I don't think they usually
probably
allow
not.
that
I
because
don't know.
the game's not even out yet.
Just take everything with a grain of salt and
Or 3.
do your own research.
yeah,
Three
do your own-
grains.
3 grains and your own research.
Please do your own research. That's
Don't-
number one.
And I
Google
mean,
it. It's
frankly,
5 minutes on Google does an amazing thing.
Frankly,
So,
if anyone on Reddit tells you anything, take 5 grains of salt
Yes.
because
even more salt.
Anyway, now for happier things.
Or ask
Minecon.
us.
I went to Minecon this
We
weekend.
don't know everything.
I know.
But we'll try to find out the answer.
We will try to find out for you.
I
in
mean,
the
that's-
most honest and
I think that's the
objective
thing
way
is, I mean,
possible.
that's the reality is like, I don't know. I spend a ton of time every week, and I know you do too. And, when you're here, you do. No, but I mean, like, I spend a ton of time listening to podcasts and reading articles and researching things and forming opinions. It's a lot of work. And so we try and obviously present the best information we can. And sometimes we're wrong. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not claiming anything we say is right.
no.
But
we
trying
try
to
really
we try
hard.
to understand it
Yeah.
how it actually is. Whether our opinions about the way it is are right or wrong.
Yeah. Just don't dogpile
We're trying
on
to
stuff.
get the facts straight.
Just the facts.
Just the
I'm
facts.
right.
Just the facts, and then we have opinions on them. and
Vicky is
then-
always right.
I'm right.
Always right.
But
No,
Anyway,
always left.
Dylan's left, I'm right, and Cliff is in the middle.
I'm in the middle. Anyway,
Minecon.
I'm going to talk about Minecon real fast. Actually, Minecon's up until this year has always been a thing. Like, you went to somewhere and went to a convention center and did it. And they did it every other year. 1 year would be in the United States, 1 year would be in Europe. And this year they decided to do the entire thing online, which was a really interesting.
That sounds like a really interesting way to do a convention.
And I'll be honest, it was kind of terrible.
Yeah.
But it's probably not, like, my kid, who is 10, enjoyed the crap out of it. So we actually went to a movie theater and watched Minecon on a big screen, which was cool.
That's so fun.
Yeah. We showed up and it's not a big theater.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably 100, 150 seats and the place was packed.
Nice.
So it was fun. But for you that play Minecraft, probably the biggest thing they announced was the new, oh crap, I want to make sure I use the phrase right because it's a take on, what is it? It's the update aquatic.
Oh, yeah.
Is the new thing, and it's going to add dolphins. And I swear to God, when they said, and we're adding dolphins, like, the theater I was in erupted. But it's also going to do a lot of cool things, like to build underwater better. There's going to be coral and kelp and fish and dolphins and shipwrecks and better water physics.
Ooh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, right? It's really fun. But the other thing they did is they actually did a live poll. They said, okay, here's 4 new, like, big baddie enemy mobs that we're going to add to this game. and you could vote in real time to see which one actually won. And they did it as a Twitter poll.
Oh
so
my
they said,
gosh.
here's 4, and then they narrowed it down to 3, and they narrowed it down to 2, and they narrowed it down to 1. And I don't remember which one won. I think it was like a giant. It was Mob B. They don't even have these things named
Mob
yet.
B is what I
It looks
saw.
like a giant stingray that flies through the sky at night. So yeah,
Ooh.
it looks cool. I wanted Mob C to win. It was significantly better, but that's
What
fine.
was it?
I don't know, like this weird, like giant headed creature that lives underground and like will eat you if you get too close to it. It was real cute too, like
That sounds
like
like me.
super huge
Yeah, it's
head
Dylan.
and little teeny body, just like Dylan. Anyway, Minecraft, it's always good. And they also announced that the super duper pretty update or whatever it's called is coming out next year. It's been delayed, but it is still coming. They had Supergirl do a song and dance routine about it. There was
Nice.
a lot of singing. My God, was there a lot of singing. It was very strange. But anyway, there is that. Right, step 2, we are going to do questions.
Questions.
Are we not going to talk about Minecraft at all?
No, that's all we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
That was
All right,
Minecraft.
that was it. We're done.
Do you want to talk more about Minecraft?
Well, I was just going to ask when the last time you guys have played it,
I've never
if ever.
Oh, I play it occasionally. My kid's super into it. So,
I don't know what it is. It's great for kids.
yeah. Have
Who
you ever
build
played
things.
it too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
She
The
is
most-
a kid. I forget. When Minecraft
Yeah,
came
I'm a
out,
child.
she couldn't drive.
yeah. No, I played it a lot. I mean, like, if I played it in high school, that was only like 7 years ago.
So that's the crazy thing is like this was the 6th anniversary, I think, of Minecraft hitting version 1,
Oh, wow.
right? And I bought that game probably a year and a half before in beta. So like Minecraft's been out for a really long
Yeah.
time. I mean, it's weird to think that when Minecraft came out,
It's kind of been a part of gaming
my kid
since
was
I
like
was into
3.
gaming. So,
you know?
yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
I played it in college a little bit.
Yeah.
So still pretty
It's fun. It's not
decently
it's not
recent.
really my jam. I played it a ton when I first got it and it was
Yeah.
really cool, but I've kind of I don't know.
It's definitely for people who want to set their own goals for random crap
Yeah.
and do
Yeah,
that.
it's fun.
don't know.
I mean it's not bad, but it's definitely not something I sit down and play all the time. There are
Oh.
way better games. My kid
We'll argue the opposite.
lives and breathes it. Yeah. Loves it. So,
It's a neat game and I respect it a lot
Yeah.
for sure, even if I haven't played it recently.
yep.
So.
I hear ya.
Okay,
Anyway,
now we can do questions.
questions from
Hey, yo, Vinny, where you at?
Yeah.
I can see why people don't attempt these voices when you're not here. They would sound really stupid.
What are you trying
You
to
make
say?
it. You make it
What are you
work.
trying to say?
You make it work.
Hey, Cliff, try to do the voice Dylan just did.
Hey, yo, Vinny.
Okay. I could.
Right, I mean,
oh, man,
but
I wish
just-
Adam was here.
He
I
can
want to
probably
hear
do
him.
it better.
I
Yeah.
know.
We'll make him do it next week.
It would just be funny to hear Adam saying that. That's all. So,
Anyway,
but anyway, okay.
Vinny's question this week is if you had to marry a video game character, who would it be? Of course, once you're married, you would love to have a little video game child as well, who you could either have via natural means or you could adopt one. Describe the characteristics of your child as well.
Well, here's my first question about the question.
Yeah. Question
Do I live in the real world or in the world
I'll
of
let
the
you
video
choose.
game? Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I gotta think about that.
All right, Dylan?
I'm thinking in our world, like if they're
If they suddenly exist in our
You're going
world,
to bring some weird pixel woman into our
Yeah.
world.
you guys are gonna
like
hate my
I
answer.
assume she's not gonna look like a graphic in a game,
8-bit.
and she will look like
A person,
flesh
like a person,
and bone.
Who are you bringing?
Man, this is tough.
Slender
but
Man.
There's a lot of babes in video games,
Right.
It's true.
Well,
and man, the world's my oyster. So
when we first brought this up in chat, when Vinny brought it up too, it was just a listing of the like most attractive women in video games. Who is it that
Which
I
is
picked? I
most
don't
of
remember
them.
who she is. I've never played League of Legends, but you've shown me.
Misfortune.
Yeah, Miss Fortune.
She's definitely in the running.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. So you don't have an answer yet either?
Man,
I actually might have one now.
Go,
okay,
go.
you go.
Okay, all right. So I'm about to admit something that I have not told very many people. and
Ooh,
I'm
this
gonna
is
do it.
exciting.
Yeah, no, it's embarrassing.
An
Bowser.
audience
So,
of hundreds will now hear you.
My embarrassing, great. My embarrassing thing is when I played Dragon Age Origins, you have the romance options in that, and one of the characters, since I created a girl character, being a girl, that my big romance option was Alistair, who's this like paladin guy that you're
Sure.
running around. I haven't played in a very long time, but I had to stop playing that game, like cut myself off from it because I was getting too emotionally attached to Alistair, a video game character. So if he existed in real life, I would hardcore fall in love with him. So, yep, I'm going to say I'm going to marry Alistair from Dragon Age Origins.
Nothing wrong with that. Do you call him Al in real life? Like once you're married, is he Al? Like Alistair seems like such a.
I'll just call him Al.
Seems
Maybe
like
it'll be
way
Allie
too
because
tough.
why not? He'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
So he's secure in his masculinity. He'd be cool with that. And then okay. Now this is not me thinking. This is just a thing that popped into my brain that I'm going to go with. Is that I would adopt Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. Does have video games.
Oh yeah.
So I would say that, and in the hope that Hiccup would somehow find a dragon and raise it in the real world, and then I'd get to be around dragons.
All right.
So
I
just
think
a lot
it's
of
fair.
dragon stuff in mine.
You're
Cool.
My favorite line in that entire movie is, "There's just something wrong." He's like, "You're pointing at all of me, Dad."
It's like, yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah. All right. So I'm going to say, unlike Vicky, who creates a character of her actual gender, when I play games, I actually usually create a character that is not my gender, and she usually looks like my wife if I have that ability to do that, which
I feel like there's something you can psychoanalyze about
I'm
that.
sure there is. But anyway, so my character that I'm going to do is the Fallout version of my wife. She's real pretty.
Nice.
And I think our kid would just look like my kid. I assume.
All right,
It's
so
kind of a cop-out,
You'd marry
but-
a video game version of your actual wife,
Yeah.
and then have a video game version of
Except
your
he's
kid.
probably kind of radioactive. Like, I don't think you should raise a kid in
a
Fallout.
mutant version of your
A
kid.
mutant version of my kid.
God.
Super Mutant Carter.
Oh,
Carter
dang.
would love that.
God, that'd be amazing. He just walks around with a little mini nuke and love it. Love it. Anyway, Dylan, you figured it out yet?
There's so many. Let's see. Misfortune was one that popped into my mind.
Top shelf.
Oh no, she has like a cowgirl outfit.
I like how he's even choosing her
cowgirl
outfit.
I like Western. Well, I like Western games. So like, I'm explaining to you why I was ever drawn to that character, because my buddy gave me a mystery skin at some point, because you could do that in League of Legends. You can send people mystery skins, and boom, magic, you get a skin,
Nice.
and that's what it was. So that was cool. She's pretty. From Soul Calibur, Ivy.
Yes.
She's pretty tough. I think she would keep me safe, and I like
In
that.
line.
I like security. She's a whole lot of woman. And then, man, if not her, Candy Sucks from Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Wow.
Love it.
She has some interesting career choices, but she's cool.
I like it.
I don't know. I found that storyline very entertaining in that
Is this
game.
a polyamorous kind of thing that you've got going?
Yeah,
Sweet.
See, that's smart.
3 for 1.
3 for 1. I love it.
That's really best, and they'd all keep me safe.
I like
mostly.
it. Dylan's safe.
I like security.
And would you have
I'm
children
Little
with
Spoon.
any
Yeah,
of them or all of them?
what do your kids look like?
I want to adopt baby Winston
Oh
and
my
have a
gosh.
little scientific gorilla.
Smart.
That's a pretty
Very
good,
smart.
It's really,
smart idea, man.
It's really my
All right.
goal.
Well, good call, Vinny. Thanks for the question, man. All right, so now we've got a question from Joe Coleslaw. He was actually going to ask this question during our live show last week, but unfortunately he laid down to take a nap and never woke up.
Never.
Well, he woke
Still
up.
No, he's
sleeping.
actually awake now. This isn't some sort of like weird Rip Van Winkle thing. So
Never woke up.
yeah, it's actually a really dumb question, because it's just nothing because he's dead, I guess, or sleeping.
He died.
Anyway,
We'll never know what his question was,
We're
guys.
gonna boil this down and just say I think I'm actually gonna say if Netflix or Amazon or Hulu, one of those like kind of hey, we can make an edgy.
We can make whatever we
Netflix.
want.
This is
Kind
probably
Let's say
a
Netflix.
Netflix
All right.
Yeah.
series.
If Netflix was going to make one of their kind of edgy Marvel, edgy whatever shows and make a video game adaptation, which video game would you like adapted by Netflix?
Okay. Am I allowed to plug another podcast?
Sure. I
Okay,
plug other
cool.
podcasts all
So
the time.
one that I'm gonna like right off the bat, if this is cool and it immediately makes me think of this other podcast called Story Break, put on by a couple of the writers at Rocket Jump, which is a production group that's awesome.
Sure.
And one of the things they do, like in an hour, they try to break a story, like as if they were going to sell it to a studio.
Nice.
And they do video games pretty often. They've done Zelda. They've done Sonic. They just did PUBG. Actually, no, a couple months ago. I'm behind, so
Wait,
I'm
does PUBG have enough of a story to make it into a
They've
story?
made it into one. That's the thing is they take like these weird like concepts that they might not even have a lot, and they just make it into a show. So if it is a hilarious thing, and it's so now I'm like anything could be made into a show. But I would say Overwatch.
Overwatch,
Definitely.
really?
But actually, I think that's the thing that's going to happen.
Man, geez, when you think about like just all the backstory and comics and stuff they've created, and they're awesome.
They could
videos,
go
Overwatch
forever.
would be terrific.
Oh my gosh, it would be amazing.
Especially on a Netflix where you could deal with some of the I don't want to say more adult aspects of Overwatch, but there are definitely
it's a war, and there's betrayals and murders, and it's like some screwed up stuff happens. Freaking May's story.
That'd be great. I'm down.
I think that's actually
like
super
smart.
They're in discussion about possibly doing it on like Netflix or something. So
that'd be great. I would love for someone like Netflix. Like I keep. All these things keep trying to get made into movies, and then they just get like killed by the Hollywood machine. Like they've talked about doing a Halo movie. They've talked about they've made a Warcraft movie. They've made an Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, they're making a ton of them. Not a lot are doing very well.
Although, have you seen the Warcraft movie?
I really wanted to watch it, but I haven't. It's about a part of the lore that I didn't really care about when I was playing. So
I still really want to watch it too. And I mean, it's directed by.
Let's watch it.
Let's watch it. We'll live stream. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It's made by David Bowie's kid, the dude who did Moon.
Yeah, Moon's a good movie. Even though it's just
movie.
2001.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's
whatever.
A good movie.
2001's a great movie too.
Right.
And so
really different tone, but good movie.
And so like I want to see it. I just haven't. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I gotta watch it.
How about you?
I mean, Overwatch would be great to see.
That's stealing. You can't do that.
Big screen.
You have to
I don't know. I want to see Overwatch on the big screen though. I don't know if I want to see it.
Oh, not on the silver
Netflix,
screen.
Not on.
Is it silver screen TV?
No, that's movies.
Well,
movies.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if I like. Yeah, sure, Netflix would do a great job, but I think that's a big screen kind of thing.
I mean, I don't disagree. I just think that like the problem with doing it as a movie is that movies have to make. I mean, if you make Overwatch the movie, it's going to cost $250 million to make, and it has to make $500 million to be successful. Whereas Netflix, like, I think you can do things that are a little more. But I mean, it would almost be, I think, suited to an episodic format too. So,
definitely could. I mean, would it handle maybe the backstory more? Yeah, probably. Like that might be interesting too. But I think for Netflix, I'd go with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I think that kind of.
That'd be.
I mean, there's like you can combine a lot of shows out there and make GTA like between Narcos with the drug running.
You could have
and,
that'd be one of those
Blinders
like gritty hard shows.
Yeah,
pretty good too.
So I mean, I can imagine a couple of shows that they've already done kind of mashed together, and that would be Grand Theft Auto, and it would be pretty exciting for television. And I mean, it can have some balls to the wall action.
I feel like it'd be like kind of like a dark drama kind of thing. It'd be good.
Yeah, good dramatic parts as well as, I mean,
it could be good.
And then like
it's
flying
just
a
like,
helicopter.
I mean, the games are good. The stories in the games are good.
I think
so. I mean, making that.
I think I'm going to go in a similar vein and say that I would like to see, and I'm not actually a big Westerns person, but I would like to see a Red Dead Redemption.
Ooh, that would be
TV.
Good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Red Dead kind of like
it was just a good I like that setting. I like the kind of anti-hero. I like the.
I don't know if I've seen a recent Western.
I'm sure there has been. It's not a genre I watch a lot of.
I mean, there's been recent reboots like 310 to Yuma, True Grit.
Wait, 310 to Yuma's a reboot?
Yeah,
really?
Like the
True Grit was
might
really
have been
good.
like the 30s.
I did not like that movie.
Or 60s, something like that. True Grit's also obviously.
I like Red Dead Redemption because it feels like a classic.
Yeah,
but it'd be like a modern.
Right. I think it'd be good.
It would be good. You're right.
And it's. I mean, it's interesting because it's like hyper violent. Like it's got that kind of.
Got the Hateful Eight.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually spin it the opposite direction though. Dylan, when he told me that, and I'm also going to involve another podcast.
Oh boy!
When he said that he'd like to see a Grand Theft Auto show, I was actually listening to PC Gamer's podcast this morning, and Tim Clark, he's like I think one of the executive editors there, was saying what he wants to see is, have you seen The Shield?
No.
No one's seen it. Everyone needs to go watch The Shield.
Is it a movie?
No, it's a TV show.
Okay.
Ran for like 7 seasons.
Oh,
you were probably very young though, actually, now that I think about it, because it probably went off the air.
What's it?
It's a cop show set in LA where it's about a bunch of they're like a special forces kind of bunch of cops in LA, fighting L.A. crime and stuff, but they're also on the take. They're crooked, and it's
okay.
just about how that plays out. And so I guess since none of you have seen it, it doesn't really matter. But do you think that would make? He was saying that would make a great Grand Theft Auto style game, and I would 100% behind that. That came, now that I think about it, that show was on the air probably 10 years ago. So, it probably went off the air.
I remember the show.
Yeah,
It's never
6 or 7, super good. Michael Chiklis and Walt Goggins, who is in tons of stuff now. Walt Goggins is such an amazing actor. So definitely check out The Shield if you haven't seen it, and then think about what a great Grand Theft Auto style game it would make.
Just watch the whole thing and pretend it's Grand Theft Auto.
Man, you could. I used to. It's God, it's so long ago. But my brother used to record that because it was on FX, and I didn't have FX. He'd record it onto VHS tapes for me, and I used to watch it on VHS. That's how long ago it was. So it's a good show. Anyways, thank you, Joe, for that. And sorry you missed the last show, but we'll do it again. Catch you in. All right. So next one comes from our good friend Chalupa Dios, the god of tacos. So I'm only going to allow one answer to this, and it is Vicky's, and it is the best answer ever. So I don't.
Yeah, I made the mistake of saying this earlier.
Tell me if you think you can beat this, but I don't think you can. So the Super Mario movie is on the way, and I don't know if that's actually true or not. Maybe there is one coming.
It's a hypothetical.
Oh,
right.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, who do you want to do the voices of Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser? And it actually says voices, so I guess that makes the assumption that this is animated, but I think it's better if this is a live-action movie. Vicky?
Nick Cage for all of them. Absolutely.
All of them.
It's just Nicolas Cage wearing a dress and a turtle suit and green and red overalls.
I hate it.
It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I would finance this movie.
I had Cliff read that question aloud to me, and I don't know why. It just popped out of my mouth immediately.
There was literally no pause. I'm like, who would play Bowser? She's like, Nick Cage. I'm like, jeez.
I'm not writing that check.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
100 times. Do you have a better person?
Yeah.
So choose one.
What do you got?
After Nick Cage, nothing. There is no better choice than Nick Cage.
What do you want me to start?
No, I think now you have to pick one person to play all four.
No, I'm not. I got picked.
All right, fine.
I
Bob
casted this
Hoskins
movie.
plays Mario.
Okay.
He's done it before. He did a great job.
Okay.
Luigi. How about William H. Macy?
I think that's a good
Kind of tall. He might have to dye his hair, but he's got that great
Are you going
mustache.
live action again? I'm going voices.
I'm thinking voices. Although it could, I'd be also okay with a live action movie featuring just Nicolas Cage playing.
See, that's my thing. It's live action Nick Cage. Peach. I don't know. And
what's her? Oh God.
Leonardo the Ninja Turtle.
Okay, I'm taking Nick Cage over your cast. That's for sure.
All right, Dylan, who are you going? So voice actors, yes?
Voice actors.
Okay.
So starring as Mario is Robert De Niro.
Ooh.
Little.
Oh my God.
His trusty sidekick, Luigi, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh no.
Because
This
he's
is
hot
terrible.
right
Nick
now.
Cage is better than this.
The romance with Peach, Princess Peach as Scarlett Johansson.
Okay, that, yes.
And Bowser is Ron Perlman.
Ooh, Ron Perlman
Ron
is
Perlman
an
would be a
excellent
great
choice
Bowser.
for Bowser. I can 100% get behind that.
Yeah.
So you said De Niro for Mario.
God, that'd be funny.
How are, and these are just voices though, I guess.
Right.
Do you think he's gonna, like, De Niro is very well known for his method acting.
Right.
Is he gonna be like Mario the entire time he's recording?
So my vision for this Mario film is a little darker tone, so it's not going to be as peppy as the Mushroom Kingdom.
If you got Ron Perlman as Bowser,
so I'm
there's some
thinking
shit's
we have a
gonna
little bit
happen with
grittier
Bowser.
Mario.
Well, I mean,
so,
that's how the original live action Mario was. That was
Right.
a gritty
I
movie.
mean,
I
So
haven't
I'm
seen it, but I
thinking.
want to.
I mean, we know who De Niro is. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
that gritty young De Niro that we
So
know
essentially,
from,
you're just casting him in his role as the Godfather.
Yeah, he's just an
with
Italian.
Mario.
Yeah.
Mario Godfather. That's it.
I can get behind this.
But,
All
yeah,
right.
I think-
You can.
I
start.
mean,
stand by
as
my
long as
answer.
McConaughey can throw a good Italian accent over that, I think we're solid. He can do anything. That
Have
dude's
you
amazing.
ever seen? Oh crap! What's the name of it? The movie where Matthew McConaughey plays the brother of. His brother's a little person, and they think it's genetic. Oh God! What is the name of this movie?
I don't know.
I will look it up because it is the worst movie ever made.
Great, I can't wait to watch it.
It's real good. I will throw out the next question, and then I will IMDb this.
Okay.
So this is from Annie, and this one's actually pretty easy. Do you think you could stop playing all games. So video games, tabletop games, card games, I think
Mobile
tic-tac-toe, mobile games, for a year for $1 million.
Don't play games with people's hearts.
Well, you shouldn't do that anyway. But
Well, you gotta stop for a year.
okay, cool. I mean, my answer is yeah, I could. It wouldn't be a fun year, but I'd probably be really productive, if I'm being honest.
See, I
And
don't know
make
if
$1
I'd be
million.
like super productive, or I just like for me, a
be
lot of
sad.
playing video games.
I mean,
is like,
I'd turn to Netflix. Here's the thing that would happen. I just watch a ton of TV
I'd be
so-
600 pounds, and
because video games are what
It's not
keep you.
it's not a far jump.
So yeah,
But I'd just be angry all the time because video games
they're
are
a great way to
like
release
the way
stress.
that I
So
yeah.
that's how I get like when I'm feeling anxious. I play video games.
Yep.
So I'd just be anxious. I'm really, really anxious. I'd watch a ton of
Well,
TV
would you,
and
would
I'd make
you
$1
make
million.
it though? That's
I
the
would.
thing. Would you
I'd
make it?
I'd make it.
So me and my brother one
I've
time.
gone almost a year before. So
Me and my brother, yeah, I have two. Me and my brother one time were like kind of doing the like, what would you do for X? And I'm pretty sure that at the time I said I would kill someone for $1 million.
wow.
So I mean, but assuming there's no consequences,
Killing
like
someone is immediate.
yeah,
This is a year,
yeah,
man.
like, and I stand by
year
that.
of
I'd
no
probably murder someone I didn't know for $1 million.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Innocent baby?
Sure, it's probably easier that way.
God. Learning some stuff.
You don't have to
on
throw
the
it
cliff
as hard?
You don't have to throw it as hard. But I mean, the reality is $1 million. Like that's
today. It's a lot of money.
that's
Yeah,
probably
an
not
easy
like.
yes for me. Like zero qualms.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm
that's
being
not
realistic
that's probably
about
not
it.
retire money, but that's
That's keep me going for a while
Wild
at my
money.
age. So
Well,
yeah,
just
actually
write-
probably not. It's actually probably keep me a while going at my age. Like
I mean, true.
with interest rates and inflation and stuff. Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. I could probably retire on
I just
$2
I'd
million,
invest it.
maybe 2.5.
You know, you invest that money and
Yeah.
then have it keep working for you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the rest
That's
of
the
your
way
life.
you do it.
So
Yeah.
I got a plan.
The movie you all need to see is Tiptoes. Two
I'm gonna write
brothers,
this down.
a dwarf and one of typical size. When Steve's girlfriend's Carol becomes pregnant, the pair are fearful that the baby will inherit the dwarfism gene, which does not work that way. It stars Matthew McConaughey, Gary Oldman, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
great.
Yes, of course.
He is.
That should be Luigi.
Isn't he? What's his name in Harry Potter?
He's
Yeah.
Sirius Black.
Sirius
in Harry
Black in
Potter,
Harry Potter plays Matthew McConaughey's dwarf brother.
yeah. What?
Through the magic of
Is
CGI.
he just walking around on his knees?
Yes,
Amazing.
yes, he is. It's incredible. Peter Dinklage plays a socialist Frenchman in this,
Is he? Okay.
and Matthew McConaughey's girlfriend is played by Kate Beckinsale. Patricia
Oh my
Arquette
God.
is in it as well.
This
Gary
sounds
Oldman
amazing.
Could sub into the Mario
We need
movie
to have a movie
for
night.
any of the roles.
Tiptoes
as
We're
well.
gonna watch Tiptoes and Warcraft.
It'll be great.
We'll
Tiptoes
see
is
it, yeah.
amazing and horrible all at the same time.
Oh my god! I can't wait.
All right. So, final question, another easy one. What is your favorite pie? Thanksgiving is
Days
tomorrow
away.
Tomorrow.
once
Oh,
this podcast
yeah,
launches.
True. Okay.
Favorite pie? Quick, Dylan. Favorite pie, Vicky.
Pumpkin cheesecake, hands down,
That's a good choice.
with some ice cream on it.
Pumpkin
Cheesecake
pie?
with ice cream on it?
Are you doubting whether to have ice cream with a pie? It's a pumpkin cheesecake pie.
Yeah,
It's like-
no,
So it's
like
not
pumpkin
cheesecake with
swirled with-
pumpkin. It's the opposite.
It's like a pumpkin pie with some like cheesecake mix like swirled
I'd
in.
get behind that. That's good.
It's delicious.
I like pumpkin pie, I like apple pie, I like chocolate pudding pie, I like lemon meringue pie.
My answer is every pie except pumpkin pie.
Shut up. Leave. You're fired.
But I love pumpkin cheesecake.
Okay, there you
So
go.
pumpkin cheesecake pie or whatever you said probably would work too. But yeah, no, I don't like pumpkin pie. I hate the
love it.
texture of it.
I don't like I've had cherry pies that are like maraschino cherry pies, and they're not good. I don't like maraschino cherries
Cherry
at all.
pie can be good.
I like-
Maraschino cherries are amazing. Anyway,
Maraschino cherries are
in
not
pie.
amazing.
yeah, they're real good.
Right, real cherries are delicious.
Cherries of all types are good.
No.
I'm not like cherry racist. Anyway,
Cherries.
cherry racist.
Cherry race.
Cherry racist. Anyway, it's kind of be like very racist, but with cherries. Anyway,
Cool.
cheap free games.
So
If
many.
Thanksgiving's tomorrow, that means the day after Thanksgiving,
Oh man.
which is a whole different holiday spawned in hell,
Yep.
is the day after Black Friday. I was originally going to say we should talk about Black Friday deals, but there are so damn many of them that's
No,
just
it's worth
stupid.
it, but they're out there.
Yeah,
so
go to
look.
IGN, go to GameSpot, go to any of those places
Walk
that
into a
track all
store,
the. Don't
find
know,
a
for the
game,
love of God,
and
don't
buy
walk
it.
into a store.
No,
Oh,
I'm
no.
just do it.
Cyber Monday is probably one of my favorite holidays.
Cyber Monday is also a good holiday. So
It's a
watch
great-
Amazon. Best
yeah.
Buy's got great stuff. Target's got great
The
stuff.
Switch is not on sale anywhere. Heads up.
Nope.
For anybody wondering, like I was, it's not going on.
I'm not
sale,
even sure
sorry,
you'll be
people.
able to buy one. Like,
Oh no!
Yeah.
As long as everybody's out and about, they're going to be grabbing those
Yeah.
Switches, whether or not they're on sale.
So nothing there. But there is going to be some amazing deals. Like there are already. If I bought $120 worth of games or $200 worth of games for $120.
Nice.
Like the other day. So brand and AAA stuff, like brand new AAA stuff. I got Wolfenstein.
Basically, I'm
And-
going after Shadow of War, I think.
Yeah, it's
For
going to be
$30.
like $30.
Mm-hmm.
But I bought Wolfenstein and Assassin's Creed Origins and the Disney Afternoon Collection and Battlefront for like $200 or for $120. No,
Nice.
maybe a little more than that. I don't know. Either way, I got a great deal. But one place you can get real cheap games is Xbox Games Pass. We haven't talked about it for a little while. Did you ever subscribe to it?
No.
I did, and then I stopped.
Yeah, I don't think I have any interest in game subscription services,
I
really.
am
And-
super interested in it, but then I started looking at how many games I had and said, like,
Ha.
yeah, it's
Head.
When
dumb.
am I actually
Cut
going to
off.
put down these other games so I can play these
Yeah.
games?
Yep.
Is never.
That's my big problem with buying games. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want all these amazing games. Whoa. And then I look at my library at how many things I haven't played yet.
Yeah, I'm literally started a spreadsheet
Wow.
of games that I need to play because otherwise it was dumb to buy them. I'm up to 16, and I'm not even close to done. My brother said it was the nerdiest thing he's ever heard.
Do you
I took
have
that as
like a
compliment.
number that when you get there with your games you need
Are
to
they
play that then
prioritized?
like now you can buy more
No, I'm
games
going to keep buying games because there's just no
Okay.
way not to.
I
But-
mean, except to just not do it. But
no,
you
that's
know.
stupid.
Okay.
Games Pass though is like kind of a deal in that I could honestly see like pulling in and out of, like buying it for a month and then turning it off and buying it for a month. Like Halo 5 is still in there, and Halo 5 got a huge 4K update for the Xbox One X, and so I thought about like, hey, why not spend $10, get in there, play it for 30 days, and then cancel again. But starting December 1st, actually, they're adding Gears of War 4, which is another very top shelf AAA game.
I bought that last Black Friday.
Yeah. So you'll be able to play Gears of War 4. You'll also be able to get Darksiders War Mastered Edition. I heard Darksiders is great. I have not played it. Have you guys played it? You probably have. It's an Xbox game. But
A little bit.
yeah, I hear that's really good. Mega Man 10, which is probably not good. This War of Mine, the Little Ones, which is probably horrifyingly depressing if I know anything about this War of Mine. This is the one that I think is going to really pull people in, though. Casey Powell Lacrosse 16.
No.
I don't know if
I don't know
if you haven't played the first
It's a lacrosse
15,
game?
if that's going to be a problem, or if you can just pick it up at 16. But
The lore is going to be all screwed up if you don't.
do you even understand the meta of lacrosse?
That's not
I
even
mean,
canon.
to be real.
I mean, let's be honest. Do you even know the rules of lacrosse?
Yeah,
because
kinda.
I
I mean,
don't.
no, I have no
I
idea
really
how
wanna
lacrosse
There's like a
works.
stick, and you
Then
throw
you
a ball.
throw the ball between the sticks.
And you can whack people with your stick.
You can whack people with the stick?
Yeah, basically.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know if that's
basically true. That's
Where
why
basically
can
they
you
true.
wear-
whack them with the stick?
They wear lots of protection
Really,
You
All
gotta
right.
have protection with the sticks.
and masks.
that is a good life lesson from Vicky. Take that how you will. And finally, also Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter, which is an odd edition because I think that was free on Xbox Gold like 4 months ago. So hey, whatever.
Have you played anything like that? Because it sounds. I like Sherlock
I
Holmes, so I don't know.
heard that it was good, not great,
Okay.
but good. It's definitely it's not on my to play list yet, but I might add it.
And to anybody who doesn't have an Xbox like myself, you're just SOL for all these games.
Sorry, but you know what you can play?
Lots of things.
Lots of other things, but specifically you could play StarCraft 2 for free.
Yeah.
It's free now. Yay! We talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's a cool thing for Blizzard to do, to take those old games and kind of pull them forward. So go get StarCraft 2.
And that's not that old, really.
No, and I mean it's still people still play that in tournaments, so it's good stuff. One other thing you could play right now is if you tomorrow, and by tomorrow I mean today, for you people that are listening today,
Right
go
now.
to GOG.com, the Good Old Games website, and you could get MDK for free, Murder, Death, Kill.
I don't know what that is.
It
but
is a game
sure.
that came out in the 90s, and it's real good.
Man, I'm a big fan of things that are free.
Free
So.
You
things
know
are
what
free.
else came out in the 90s?
Me. We both did. We're awesome.
You know what graduated from high school in the 90s? Me. Anyway, GOG, while you're there, is also having a big Black Friday sale. Tower 57's on sale, which is a really cool twin-stick shooter that I played at PAX a couple years ago. Witcher, the Wild Hunt Game of the Year edition, is the cheapest I have ever seen it for $20.
I'm kind of considering
It
Witcher on one of
is
these
such
sales,
a
too.
good game. For $20, do it. West of Loathing is 11% off. which is-
11%.
Yeah.
Is that something that West of Loathing would do?
Maybe.
I'm going to
like
go
it.
with that.
$9.78. And Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is on sale for the first time I've seen it for $22.50.
Okay,
so
on
25% off. Yeah.
On
so
what?
some good stuff there.
What is Hellblade on sale on?
GOG.
Okay, I'm gonna be getting that.
So, did you guys know that GOG is actually owned by CD Projekt Red, the people that do The Witcher 3?
Huh?
Yeah, I think we talked about that one.
Isn't that
Thanks,
strange?
Witcher 3 people.
Yeah. Yep. They're making a cyberpunk game right now. So,
Ooh, I can't wait.
yeah, it should be good. Anyway, I think. Actually, we're going to do small bites real fast.
Small bites.
Small.
Nom, 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 nom.
Thank you, Dylan.
We don't even need like sound effects.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no soundboard here. It's all Dylan. You will be shocked to know. So, small bites this week. I believe this is the third Nintendo game released on mobile. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mario, and
Mario
then
Run,
that
the
game I
Pikmin
don't
one?
care about.
They did a Pikmin one, right? Did they
Oh
do
yeah,
Pikmin
yeah. So
one?
it's the fourth, I think. So
Did they
there's.
do a Pik- or is that on the DS?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think there's a Mario one. I think there's a Pikmin one. I think you're right. And then they did that weird JRPG strategy game.
I'm going to search Nintendo on my app
There
store
you go.
right now.
Wow, look at you go.
But anyway, this game is actually Animal Crossing. It is specifically Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Dylan is playing it right now. He may have been playing it for the last hour and a half. I don't know.
I have been.
How do you like
Fire
it?
Emblem Heroes.
Fire Emblem Heroes. There you go. How do you like it so far?
I don't think there is a Pikmin one.
Whatever.
You're wrong about
He
that.
loves it.
But I've never played Animal Crossing before.
Really?
Me neither. I've
It's
wanted
something
to.
I've been like, should I buy it for my DS? And buy it for my DS? Should I buy it for my DS? Because it seems fun, but I don't know. I never did. I never tried it.
You know what I would suggest instead? Just buying Stardew Valley for
I
your Switch.
did.
So is it really similar, Stardew Valley and
Yeah,
Animal Crossing?
quite similar.
Okay. I have never played
Yeah.
either.
Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing though definitely has a very cute aesthetic.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I've seen.
the
I've
look
seen
is
some
very
stuff about it.
different,
Yeah.
but I think in
Yeah.
essence it's kind of the
Same
same
game.
thing. I think this Pocket Edition is scaled back.
Yeah,
quite a
it
bit,
is.
I assume
It is
but
definitely different.
It's very easy to navigate around to the different spots and the different camps, I guess. And yeah, you collect things, you give things to people, they give you stuff, you craft things,
and you just described Animal Crossing.
right.
Yeah.
I mean that's
It is a fun game. I've really liked the
How-
Animal Crossing that I've played.
When did you pick it up?
Today. It came
Oh,
out
okay,
today.
cool.
It came out
Yeah, I'm
today.
wondering. I'm like, in a week, let me know if you're still like glued to your phone for
right.
it.
I
Well,
tried-
mean, to me, I understand Animal Crossing is very much about the couple minutes a day kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's
And this
Yeah.
is a free-to-play game.
It's a free-to-play
so there
game.
are cooldowns. So, you know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
a lot of
Oh,
the
yeah,
cooldowns are in crafting.
and it's like a minute.
I've heard
At
that
the
it's like a
beginning.
minute until you get to like, hey, we need to upgrade our tent, which can
Right.
take 12 hours.
But
So,
I mean, that fits into Animal Crossing really well,
Yep.
though, right? Because it's supposed to be bite-sized chunks.
and I mean,
right?
frankly, it
Gotcha.
takes me 12 hours
But-
to upgrade my tent in real life. So,
But yeah, I think there's a lot to like here.
Yeah.
I think it works really well on the phone to play like one-handed,
Mhm.
just navigating around. I mean, you're not doing anything super complex where you need a lot of
Yeah,
buttons.
yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, that's
you're
how the first-
basically just touching stuff and then poking stuff and
That's what Dylan does this weekend.
picking
Yeah.
stuff and
thank God he can play it one-handed.
yeah, I
Anyway.
can play two at once.
Two at once. He could play
Give
Wow.
me your phone.
Animal Crossing.
Don't
in
Play
each
Animal
hand.
Crossing Pocket Edition on your phone.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually released this 3 weeks ago, I want to say, in Australia, which is a thing that apparently developers are doing now where they release it into a specific region. And,
Australia. I just
yeah.
like.
And
I
people
hope
went
Australia
bananas
just becomes the
trying
place
to
where
get
we.
it.
I tried so hard to create myself an Australian iTunes account, and it's really hard.
That's so wacky.
You have to have an Australian credit card to get it to work.
Oh my!
Some
So you
people
guys
So I
got
bought
started
a
an
prepaid
Australian-
Australian credit
Yeah.
card. And
Well, some people got it to work without the credit card, and I tried a couple different ways. I couldn't get it to. I was at Disneyland too, so that didn't help. But the reviews have been pretty good, and the microtransactions apparently are there, but not horribly in
Yeah.
your face. So
and you can totally just turn them off.
Yeah,
too,
definitely something to try.
I think in
Nice.
the settings you can just off. Yeah, and they don't seem like they really get in the way. They're not pushing them on you ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically, do you want to go click on this thing? And they have a couple special offers. If you want
Nice.
to throw them a couple bucks at the beginning, you'll
Sure.
get like
Stuff.
probably a good
Yeah.
value
Yep.
to get
kind
started.
of a starter kit.
I mean, it's and like they have one for like I think 99 cents. There's one for $4, and then there's one for $20. So
Nice.
it's like if you were gonna spend $20 on an Animal Crossing game anyway, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
If you like that kind of game, there's probably a lot for you to enjoy here. I like that it's on my phone too.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to try it.
it's
I meant to download it before we came, and I just hadn't had a chance yet. So
Maybe
it's good stuff.
Okay,
It's
wait,
cool, you
is
get
it on? I have to ask. Is it online?
Yeah,
Or
you can get friends and stuff on there.
can you make it so it's not online? Can you play it when you're not online?
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah, you
5-hour
totally
flight
can.
in my near future,
I'm
so
pretty sure you can play this not
Yee-hee.
online. I don't see why you.
You would
would
think
have
that
to-
about Mario too, but that's not
Yeah.
true. So
I'll maybe I'll test it out.
try it out.
But
Try it out.
it's cool. You have a bus. You can customize your bus, your little
Bus.
van,
Nice.
as well as your campsite. So that's
Yeah, I like it.
it's campy.
It's okay.
Hey.
I think that's us for the week.
Happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have a great Thanksgiving and a great Black Friday and a safe weekend and a happy Cyber Monday.
Yes,
All those things. Next week, Adam should be back.
I will be gone.
I think he will be gone. Maybe, I don't know. Like, who knows? Adam might get, or yeah, maybe Dylan will get hit by a bus.
There you go.
That bus is
Don't
gonna
worry,
be
if that
sorry in the
happens,
morning.
I will be
Dylan's
here to
the guy
comfort
that
you.
someone's going to pay me $1 million to kill. Could
there you
happen. Anyway, you can find us online at Byte Me Podcast. I'm going to start that again. You can find us online at bytemepodcast.com, BYTE. Same thing on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram, although you're going to be real sad if you go to our Instagram page. Anything else?
Play games.
Play game. Man, you got 4
Play
days.
games,
You can
man.
play some great
Yeah.
games. Actually, follow us on Mixer too. I'm going to play Star Wars Battlefront 2 single player on Star Wars. I just got new lighting for my streaming setup and a
Nice.
green screen. So
Whoa,
I know it's
you're
a real
serious.
top
You can
shelf
look at
now.
Cliff in front of a green background.
It'll be I know.
He's not going to key it out.
It has a blue background too, so we'll see. Maybe I'll switch. Right, currently my
Ooh.
person is black and white, so we'll see.
Can
You
fold
should-
it, and it can be green and blue.
There you
like
go.
my bus in Animal Crossing Pocket Edition.
It is also so big that I can't fold it up myself. So
I
Anyway.
would say take the blue background, stick a bunch of marshmallows on it, and say they're clouds,
dang,
and then it'll be great.
that's
just do
brilliant,
that.
brilliant.
I'm here for the ideas. I'm
Anyway.
the noodle lady.
Mixer.com/Byte Me Podcast. But I think that's it. So have a week.
Have a week. Oh, sorry, I screwed it up.